know, this guy, he's going to have to make a name for himself here tonight because Mr. P is going to walk away with the big trophy. Brother Jude!
All right, I'm inspired now to finish my LA Marathon haiku. 26 poems, one for each mile. I don't know, I've got like 5 miles finished.
Those are the hardest parts.
Yeah, I know, those are the hardest. Well, I don't know, we'll find out. I dropped the keys, watched TV with the sound off, cobwebs on my face. I was trying to think. I watched TV. What has thinking ever got you? She'd said. Where are you now, my friend? I watched TV. I stopped thinking. I got run over by waves. I watched the giant rooster chase a man over the cliff, and then it turned and started for me. I turned off the TV just in time to start thinking again. All right. What I call Buzzsaw Halo. I wrote it about 10 years ago, and I keep rewriting it, so I think it's done. We'll find out. I can't hold in this flood, this rainbow of sunlight and spillage. Red cells rage through my temples, each stamped with a letter. They clog like poker chips behind my closed eyelids. They spill from my mouth, mispronounced blood clots of saliva alphabet soup. And nobody wants poetry, not anymore, while I brush my teeth and sarcastic phrases foam. I spit them into the sink and rinse. They swirl down the drain into love poetry's subterranean particles of grocery list oblivion. And nobody wants poetry, not anymore. They want a sideshow, spotlight, pretentious group hug. They cheer on their hero who says, fuck you for 10 minutes, and then follow him out the door. Keep shoveling out the hits, poet, before society crucifies you, just like it does to all its artists. And nobody wants poetry, not anymore. Like when I buried poetry in a shallow grave by a dead cat I'd found to keep it company, like when it spiraled out of the soil into a 50-foot dandelion to twist through a window, to whisper into a sleeping baby's ear sweet and horrible things like nobody wants poetry, not anymore. Plow the land and bodies spring eternal, dial 1-800 and the devil answers. I hung up the phone and started writing, a sour grapes manifesto scribbled into my notebook. Holidays, it sneered, should all become national days of greed and mourning. Fastened to a boulder, I used it to break a Valentine's Day window. It became my creed, and nobody wants poetry, not anymore. I stood up suddenly on my chair. My halo became a buzzsaw. My paper wings fell to the floor and burst into flames. I stepped out of my robe and stumbled outside. I was sick of being an angel, an agent of fascism. And nobody wants poetry, not anymore, my precious flower children comrades. Nobody remembers the inkwells of dark blue confusion, a subversive Saturday nights exploding with political jargon. Nobody remembers. They're all too frightened and keep missing the point. The thicket of slogans, war is peace, ignorance is strength, the customer is always right, and nobody wants poetry, not anymore. As I lit the signal fire in the trash can filled with words, it burned orange, vast and cynical, until the fire department showed up at my door demanding my papers. So I handed over my latest verse, fresh from the cookie jar, as they led me away in handcuffs. Nobody wants poetry, not anymore. Does no one remember? Where is that little bit of vigor in the pre-dawn horror when I used to wake up with a verbal hangover, when cliches got flushed down the toilet, spinning around with last night's cigarette butts and decaying temples of half-empty beer cans, tumbled columns across the carpet. Poetry slithers in the crevices of my brain, locked in its toolbox, each word lifted from a carton of nails and hammered into the wall of silence. Walk to the ends of the earth, my friends, and you'll find poetry in an open garbage pit, stuffed into a mattress and fluttering skyward. Confused paper, leaking out of broken skull fortune cookies. Poetry, the abandoned particles of a drunken, unreasonable rampage. Poetry, poverty, pottery. Switch a few letters around and watch everything fall to pieces. Voltage arbor. Willow turns into iron skeleton charged with artificial current. It weeps and flutters. It shorts out the toaster. Toast pops up, scorched with the face of Jesus. Graven image. The other slice has Buddha. I butter the bread, partake of holy breakfast. Massive oak becomes copper. More efficient a conductor. Voltage increase, cracks, overhead jagged sky, lightning bolts which arc and remain embedded like sacrilege. Fizzle branch trees and metal crowds out everyone's dreams. Superconductor wires take root beneath sidewalk. Gold fillings receive divine voices and the eternal jazz backward masking. A flashbulb explodes. Date palm hits the dry earth. A tree stump suddenly bronze with scaffold sounds of organic tractor catches fire beneath synergy waves. Stainless steel, the forest rises with cuttings composed of jargon. The breaker switch thrown open creates hiss and crackle. Neon floods the nightmare skull. Incandescent flowers whisper digital. Flash red, orange until juice runs out. Jumper cable, jawbone bites into lowest hanging branch. Commas, static dots and dashes spark the darkness. Moonlight circle, drained of power, flickers, dims, sinks into the chirping glare of dawn. All right, I'll read one more. The age of insomnia. Needle and thread. If I had a needle and thread, I'd sew up the eyes of the insane ghost who peers in my bedroom window. I'd listen for his moan and the sound of cats fighting in the distance. If I had a needle and thread, I'd create a silence and stitch it into my head. I'd kill the light and embrace the body of sleep, the cousin of death, as she covers me like a fog again. If I had a needle and thread, I'd fix the hole in time where I'm kneeling by my bed, afraid to turn out the light. 17 years and I'm still writing the same poem. If I had a needle and thread, I'd wake myself up with a single jab and pull the thread taut to strangle all these useless ghosts and carry them back into the garage where they belong. Back inside the wooden crate filled with bicycle parts. Back inside the inner tube sealed with an orange rubber patch. Back inside the scent of turpentine, which makes this a serpent's home, which makes this a spirit's home, I'm sorry. Maybe then I could slumber in peace. Maybe then, knowing everything was back right in its rightful place. Unlucky number. I feel haunted and unreal as I breathe in a ghostly curl of smoke. A ghostly swirl who opens his eyes, who unwinds in my lungs, who invades my bones, takes my shape, an alternate brother Jude as I might have been had I been born on the correct date. 2 days later, August 17, 1962, 8/17/62, 888, that perfect date, where each numeral adds up to 8 and everything would have turned out so different. What are you doing here? Asked an unseen voice. You should have died in 1988. That's why I get weird looks these days by people with whom I shake hands. How does it feel to shake hands with someone who shouldn't be here? The slow click of time divides me again and again. Its slow sound reveals a slow door opening into the shrine, hammered out of numerology. That ghostly curl of smoke vanishing reveals my unlucky number. Thank you.
Honey, I'm home. Man, today some faded guy with gravestone eyes grabbed me hard and calmly said, "The Holy Spirit has sent me to save your soul." Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I don't even believe in gods. I spat at the Christer, snipped the tip of my nipple, and let it drop into his soup.
Betty Nude has something important to tell us.